Hello everyone, this is Pastor LawAnda Williams, founder of Leaf Life Covenant Ministry. I come to you today and because I have a message from God that I'd like to share with you all. The Lord has been dealing with my spirit about the message to preach about the spirit of bondage that's going on around the world. A lot of people are being bound by different situations, different issues, different life events are taking place. So God is saying He's ready to set the captive free. But before God can set the captive free, they got to be willing to be transformed and renewed by the renewing of their mind. See, God knows the heart of man and knows the soul of man. And God knows who's ready and who's not ready. But at this time, God is trying to send people that can reach the lost and the captive. All you got to do is just open up your heart, open up your mind, open up your soul, open up your spirit. And when you open up your heart, mind, and spirit, God is able to come in and change things around. Through Christ Jesus, He can strengthen you. He can take you from the pit to the palace. I mean, anything that you're asking God for, He can do it for you. But you just got to be willing and have an open heart. And that's the main thing God is looking for. Someone that is ready to be vulnerable with Him. You know, sometimes we will open our hearts to people, but we will be afraid to open our hearts to God. Sometimes we give our all to people, but we won't give our all to God. Right now, God is looking for somebody who's willing to give it all. Empty out your storage. Make room for Him to come in and sup with you. You can't get the things that you need from God if you're not open, if you're not willing to allow Him to be God. So now God is really trying to deal with people and they can't see Him. And the reason they can't see them because Satan has spiritually bound them. Satan has really put a cover over their eyes, a cover over their hearts, cover over their ears so they can't hear. But at this time, God is really trying to speak to the people so they can come out and be better at what they're supposed to do, the calling that God has in their life. God has a calling on each and every last one of our lives. We're all a call for a purpose and a destiny. But if you don't know this and you haven't been taught this, then sometimes you'll find yourself caught up. Just like the woman died loose. She was stricken with an infirmity for 18 years, and she didn't allow God to be God. And she came from a blessed lineage. She came from the son Abraham. And Abraham was already promised the promised land from God. And had she know that she had the access already, she would allow God to heal her, and she wouldn't have to wait 18 years just to come out of bondage. See, the bondage did not come from God. The bondage came from Satan. See, God does not send punishment to teach you or to show you a lesson. Those attacks come from Satan because he wants you to think it's God, but it's not God. And if he can keep you bound, that's what he's designed to do. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. I know you've heard that so many times before, but some people don't even know they're hit with the kill, or the destroy, or the steal. By the time it hit them, everything has already took place, and then they're left with the remnant of the aftermath of what has already took place. This is a good message for you, for those who don't know Christ, don't know Him, don't have Him in your heart. Those that been bound with an infirmity, just like the lady that had the infirmity for 18 years. If this is you, God is speaking to you today, because there's something He has for you, and you can't get it just living on the surface. See, God is deeper than the surface. God has other levels, other realms that you can go in to seek Him. But until that you know that there's different levels, different realms, and different dimensions of God, then you'll be stuck thinking God is in a box. God is not in a box. It's time to take God out the box. God is not a jack in the box where you can spin the box and it pops up and He said boo-hoo. No, that is not the God we serve. But the God that we do serve is bigger than the box that you're trying to put Him in. So it's time to take God out the box. It's time to get loose. It's time to break free. It's time to elevate. It's time to move forward. No time for procrastination. See, God is not issuing out a procrastination spirit, because the procrastination spirit has already been hovering around the world for days and centuries and time after time. Now God says it's time to break free, break every chain. I know you might have heard that song by Tasha Cobbs. She said, break every chain, break every chain. But you know, sometimes chains join back together because we don't allow the chain to be completely broken, but we allow the chain to reconnect. And then the links that we're linking up to are not the links God wants us to link up to, but in the midst of our flesh, we let our flesh overrule and override God, override the process that God has. You see, everybody want the promise, but nobody want to go through the process. And God said everybody want a quick fix and a band-aid, want to put a band-aid on a wound that can't be healed. But one thing about it, we got to allow God to be God and heal us in the areas that we're hurt, heal us in the area that we've been wounded, heal us in the area that we've been battered and beaten and bruised. You know, see, Satan's going to wrestle us to the end of this world. But if you don't know it's Satan that's operating in the process, then of course you're going to be defeated every time. You can live a life that's not defeated. You can live a life that's not completed. You can live a life that's full of energy from God, full of destiny, promise. You know, God always want to give people the best. That's why he said, I know the desires of your heart, and the desires of your heart is the desires of his heart, and his plan is to prosper you. But how can we ever prosper if we always putting limits on God? Take the limits off God. It's time to take the limits off God, because there's something out there that God needs you to do. There's people God needs you to reach. And you can't reach the people if you're in bondage. Because one thing about a person that's in bondage, they can't help someone else get free. Because you're both in the same boat without an oar, without a pedal. You can't come out if you can't bring someone out if you're in. So that's just like saying God is saying that, you know, the pot can't call the kettle black. So before you can even get people set free and delivered, you got to own up to your own issues. You got to own up to your own demons. You got to make sure God is delivering your demons before you try to correct someone else's demons. See, one thing about it, we all have a demon, and sometimes we don't want to face the demons that we have because we want to continue to think that everybody else has a demon or a spirit. But guess what? We all proclaim to have those same spirits and demons as well. But we just have to address the issue. You know, it's just time for us to wake up, actually. Time for us to move forward, because, you know, we can't look back because God brought us too far. So you got to look at the things that God took you from. But God is not concerned about the things he took you from. God is concerned about the things you will continue to be in. See, people always say that I don't do this no more, I don't do that anymore. But God is not worrying about what you don't do anymore. God is saying, what can I fix that you're doing right now? What is that I can fix that you're already living in right now? What issues can I fix that you have took on again? See, God already delivered you from the past. So guess what? Now it's the present he's trying to fix you for. So that's why you got to allow God to fix you with the things that you have now. The things that you deal with now on a day-to-day basis. You know, a lot of times we think because we go to church or we do different things for the church that, you know, that's going to save us. But it's not going to save us. It's that connection that you have to have. And when God allows you to have the connection, you can't be disconnected. And the only way that you become disconnected is when you allow Satan to disconnect you from the things that God already told you. See, God always speaks in a small, still voice, but guess what? It's very stern. God is very precise. God is not a doubter. God is not a questionable. When God says it's established, God don't take his words back. God don't recondition his words. God said, this is what I said and it is what it is. God is a very blunt God. I mean, he's very blunt, open, and upfront. And he does not sugarcoat anything. So it's time that when we hear from the voice of God, that we take heed. Because it's not worth going through like you say, obedience is better than sacrifice. And sometimes it's not even worth going through the disobedient to get punished, or just to have God just step away and take his hands off the situation and allow you to go through the hurt and turmoil. But at the same time, God said, I have to teach you tough love sometimes. Sometimes God allow us to fall into traps, snares, and different things. Excuse me, but we just got to know who God is. We just got to know. We got to know without a shadow of a doubt that God is talking to us. And in these last days, God has been speaking boldly. Are you listening? I want to know, are you listening? Something that's still.